This is Stay Paid, the marketing podcast that gives listeners a competitive edge to stay motivated, find inspiration, and discover proven real-world tactics from some of the best marketers across the nation.
Welcome to Stay Paid. My name is Joshua Stike.
And I'm Luke Akery.
And today we're going to be talking about the client events you should be running in 2024. So we're in September now.
Yes.
Right? Our theme for September is all about client events and doing stuff like that because one of the reasons we put on the list was it feels like over the last year, client events have come up more and more. The most that we've ever heard after almost 500 episodes of this podcast. And hey, you're rolling into quarter four about right now, which means you need to start planning.
Definitely an appreciation event this quarter, I would say.
Oh, definitely do one this quarter. But what we're going to do, walk through and give you, this will be a quick one because we're just going to give you some ideas for how you can do, aim to do a client event a month next year. We just had on Shannon Gillette, who does a client event, right?
She does one every month.
Every single month. She does a client event. And you can kind of, it all comes down to your budget and what you're able to spend and how you're sort of segmenting it. But one of the ways that you can segment this is look at your list, and depending on how you have it segmented, A client, B client, C client, maybe you're doing what Barb Betts does, which is your first class clients, your business class clients, your coach clients, whatever, and determine, all right, what type of events can you have to make sure that each type of those clients are going to be involved in. Obviously, the more intimate ones, those will be for your absolute best clients. Your broader, bigger events, maybe like your holiday party, which we'll get to in December, could be for maybe your entire list or maybe a larger group of your list.
2 points I would make before we jump into each month and kind of the event idea. One is one of the keys to events that make them so powerful is the invitations beforehand. And I'm not talking about just the physical email you send or invitation you send, it's the actual personal phone call. The reason why client events work so well is because you get to talk to the person and invite them to the event. Then you see them at the event. Then you get a follow-up after the event to thank them for coming. So you have 3 touch points built into one, right there, which is awesome for you. And then the second is get people to pay for your event. So you have title partners, mortgage lenders, local businesses. They will chip in and pay for your events. A lot of these people who run them all the time, they don't even pay for them. They get their partners to help pay for them.
Yeah, great point. All right, so January, kicking off the new year, you can do a New Year networking mixer, which is, it doesn't have to be some big gala or anything. This could be something at your local bar. We had a guest, Tony Ray Baker, come on. He talked about
that's old school, man. That's like back, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
He was mentioning that.
In the second studio.
That's crazy. Tony Ray Baker, man. I hope you're still listening to the show. You're amazing. He was a client of ours and stuff like that, but he would rent out the hotel bar. In that way, the reason why it was so genius, right, is because what's the problem with an event? You don't have time to plan. You don't have time to get the caterers. You don't have time to take care of all of that. If you just rent out a hotel bar, you can buy some apps. Maybe if you want to, you could buy everybody a drink, but most of the time they don't even buy the drinks. It's literally just provide the appetizers, invite people to come and social and network. And it's simple.
Perfect way to kick off the new year. Also, in terms of budgeting, you can look up, and again, all of these are research numbers. You can look up, expect about $500 to $1,000 for an event like that. For February, cute idea here, do a Valentine's Day appreciation luncheon. So get your clients together, do a nice dinner, or maybe you do it at your house. You can host like a dinner party and kind of theme it around this idea of I love my clients.
I love your referrals too. Garrett Maroon we had him on the podcast, and he was the guy that closed like 86 deals out of just like 286 people in his database. And he does client events and he does Popeyes and all this other stuff. But he does an ice cream event, which is an appreciation event where he invites all his clients to come get free ice cream, like at a local ice cream shop, and it's a huge hit for him.
That would be good for Valentine's.
Yeah, exactly, because it's like, the treats, and then it's also appreciation.
From a budget perspective, you can expect about $800 to $1,200 to do like a luncheon like that. For March, it's still a little cold outside in most of the country, so you want to do something inside. How about a wine tasting event or beer tasting? If you're not into wine, you can do
wine and cheese.
Wine and cheese
is really popular in the financial space. I'm sure it's popular in all spaces, but really popular in the financial space. I can't remember. The name is slipping my mind. But the guy who does the golf event.
Marc Miner.
Marc Miner. He also did wine and cheese or whatever. So, and that was a very popular event for him.
Yeah, kind of a classier event there. About $20 to $90. I know that's a big range, $20 to $90 per guest. So you can look at about $50 per guest on average. For April, this tip comes from Shannon Gillette. She does an Easter egg hunt every year. She rents a DJ. She gets a bounce house. She gets all of the families and their kids out to do a fun Easter egg hunt.
That's awesome.
That's a great one that you can do for Easter. For May, also I'm going to mention Shannon Gillette here again, but rent a mini golf course. So weather's getting nicer.
Oh, that's
actually
cool.
Rent a mini golf course. She gets prizes So she'll buy prizes ahead of time, and she'll do things for like holes in one, or do things for like the winner of the round.
And that's pretty
You
sweet.
could expect about $500 per hour for something like that. So that would all depend.
So it's like renting out like a putt-putt.
Yeah, you rent out a little putt-putt.
Yeah.
You could also do, they may have blacklight mini golf courses like in some areas. Those are kind of unique, interesting ideas as well. For June, a block party. Great time to do a block party in your neighborhood. About $250 to rent music, face painting. Get some face painting for $200. Ice cream truck again. You can get for about $5 to $10 a head. So those are different opportunities that you can do.
The food trucks are super popular. I hear a lot of podcasts where agents have rented food trucks.
Who we just have on that goes back to her old neighborhood? She moved, but she goes back to her old neighborhood.
Stacey Allwine, right?
Was that it? Yeah, does a block party there.
Yeah.
I don't know if she rents a truck, but
yes, especially in farming, we do a coaching class on geographic farming. So I think we have a webinar coming up not too far out. So we'll have to get the dates to everybody. But where we teach how to do geographic farming well. And one of the really popular things community-wise is to rent an ice cream truck or rent a food truck and get out there in the community because people just love food trucks.
It draws a crowd.
Yes.
100% draws a crowd. All right, so that was for June. For July, speaking of Marc Miner and his golf event, great time to do a golf event. So this will cost you about $50 per person. Invite your clients to a golf event and ask them to put together a foursome.
Yeah, it's so good.
Getting their information. Guess what? You just added 3 new people per client to your database. He then goes around and instead of golfing and participating in the event, he basically acts like the what do you say, the cart girl.
Yeah,
so he goes around, offers drinks, gets to meet everybody. And then that's a great opportunity as well. When you mentioned, I don't think he pays a dime for that. He gets
all sponsors. I think,
all of his partners end up sponsoring and paying for that event for them. But great opportunity to do something like that. In August, this is a great idea. Rent a movie theater. So I don't know if you know this. For $99 at AMC, you can rent a theater.
No way.
Yeah.
For $99?
Yeah, you can rent
a movie.
You can rent a theater. You can either show a recent release, like a new release, or you can show a favorite, like a fan favorite.
How do they get away with that? Are they?
I have no idea.
They're banking on the concessions?
I guess they're banking on the concession.
Wow, that is wild.
I didn't know that. I thought, and this is why it's cool to do the research on the cost of all this. I thought that would cost, a ton. Now
$500, I would think.
There are, in general, it ranges from $75 to $395 per hour. But AMC right now has a deal for $99.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer, and that's a really popular one. I see that all over the place.
Another great opportunity for families. They want to bring the kids,
and you
maybe
can
watch
run your
movie.
Commercial or do a thank you video right before the movie.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That brings up a great point, though. At your events, you want to make sure that, number one, you're very present front and center, but that you are kind of giving a speech.
Yes,
so whether it's
100%.
For the meeting after
You're
the
thanking
movie.
people for showing up. You're telling them the reason why they're here is because you appreciate them and the referrals and what they've meant to your business and all that stuff. And I even tell people, share. My brother does this at his Christmas party event. Share what your goal is and how everybody's helping you achieve that goal. Like he had a goal at the time to be the number 1 team in Lynchburg, and he ended up achieving that. But it's just getting the community that he's bringing together. And part of that goal is so powerful when he does the speech.
In September, great time to do a charity event.
Yes.
Right. So we're kind of moving into the season of the holidays and wanting to give back. So lots of different charity events you can do. One example that we heard here on the podcast was doing a personal shopper. So they would take 300 kids that were living in foster care and do a personal shopping spree, and they invited their clients to come in and actually be the personal shoppers with the kids. And I think this was Shannon Gillette also, but I loved her quote. She goes, people want to give back. They just don't know how or what to do. So be that facilitator, that person that's bringing people together to give back. In October, fall time, great opportunity to rent a photographer, maybe at a park, and do family photos. Give free family photos. So you pay the photographer, a few $100 to be there for a couple hours and take photos for families.
Garrett Maroon does that. Yeah. Shannon Gillette, who you've mentioned a bunch, does that. So there's a lot of people doing the photo thing. And the ones that are your core clients actually print out their photo and frame it for them. Yeah, so they know you gave it to them, you printed it out, all that stuff.
November, I've heard this idea so many times from people. Yeah. I still haven't been invited to one. A pie event.
The pie event. This one is fantastic.
I love the pie event because people, if you do this year over year, people start to rely on your pie event for their pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving.
Stacey Allwine, we mentioned her. She does this, a massive pie event.
Yep.
My brother Steven, did a pie event. And in the thing that he did amazing at this pie event is he needed a bunch of Google reviews. I've shared this many times. But to take advantage of this at all your events, have a computer out and ask people to review you on Google, on Zillow, on Facebook, or whatever your site is. But he started a Google business profile. He had no reviews at the time. He needed a bunch of reviews. And so when he invited people to get their pie at his office, they showed up and he literally asked them right there, hey, would you mind, reviewing me? Obviously, you're a past client of mine. And he got like 69 or something like that 5-star reviews on Google that day.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
How could you not review someone positively? That
I have heard that
too many
somebody
Google
else,
reviews at once.
It's too many Google reviews at once. They might
Pantana
flag
told us
you.
Yeah.
But we had a client try it and it happened to them where they got too many, which is what a great problem to have. But so be strategic about that. So when you invite people to your client event, especially if you're doing a lot of them, maybe ask 10 people to review and then stop, right? Yeah. Or something like that. And then the next event
make sure you have a card attached to the pie that links to your Google, create a quick link.
Or have 10 review you on Google and then have the other 10 review you on Facebook and then have the other 10 review you on Zillow, right? Yeah. And now you have all these reviews that you can utilize.
That's a great idea. All right. And then December, you're going to close out the year. This one's an obvious one, but throw a holiday party for your clients. I know your brother did this last year.
He goes all out. He goes every year.
A big one.
Yeah, he goes all out. I mean, I think he spent almost 10 grand on that event. Now he got people to contribute and stuff, but I think all in budget wise. So
he had like 400 people, right?
Yeah, it was a massive event. But he says he always not only does he get reviews, they get insane feedback.
What does he rent for a location?
He rented last time it was downtown Lynchburg. He rented like this. I don't know. It's a place where they have wedding receptions and stuff like that. Like,
I wasn't sure. Yeah.
But that was an expensive event. But he says he always makes all the money back and more from just the referrals he gets from people right after that event.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing. But what's really cool about it is it's like literally people look forward to it. It's like they get dressed up, so it's a fancier event, and they dance. It's like a wedding. They dance, all that stuff. So it really gets you to know your client base and connects them.
Yeah. Make sure that you're taking advantage as you're getting your clients together and doing these events and giving back, that you've got a photographer there. You have someone there taking video, someone there that can capture these moments, because then that just naturally feeds into all of the content that you're going to put on your Instagram or your YouTube, and it just gives other people who are looking to maybe use you for your services insight into what it's like to be one of your clients. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that as well. All right, there you go. There are your 12 events for 2024 that you should be running for your clients. Thank you so much for listening. You can go to staypaidpodcast.com for the show notes and the video of this episode. And if you're looking for ways to support the show, head on over to Apple Podcasts, drop us a 5-star review. And the best way to show your support is to simply share this episode with someone that you know. Speaking of dinners, right?
No, here we go.
Oh, great segue.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, it's good.
Of events. Yeah, dinners and events. I sat down for dinner at a restaurant, and the waiter asked me, "Do you want to hear today's special?" And so, of course, I said, "Yes, please." So he said, "No problem, sir. Today is special."
I feel like
you saw that one coming.
I saw that one coming. Today is special, sir. That was a special joke.
If you want to get a hold of me or Luke, you can email us at podcast@remindermedia.com, or you can find us on Instagram. We are at Stay Paid Podcast. Make sure to join our broadcast channel over at Instagram. So go to at Stay Paid Podcast, and in the bio, there's going to be a little link there. You can join our broadcast channel. For this episode of Stay Paid, I'm Joshua Stike.
Guys, I'm Luke Acree. Your action item from this is obvious, but you got to execute. You need to throw a client event, right? Maybe you can't do all 12 months, right? But you can definitely do one client event this year. You need to pick which one of these resonates with you the most. Make it happen. Go to your title company, your mortgage company. If you're insurance, go to the accountant you're partnered with, the financial advisor, whatever. Come together to share the cost for it. Even invite each other's clients. What an incredible way to network. Do that, because you will be blown away at the relationships, the reciprocity that happens, and the referrals and the business you get from it. Remember, the difference between top producers and mediocre producers in every business is top producers take action. Take action on that today.